As a nurse, I was trained to save lives. But that night, I almost killed someone. And that was my biggest chance. They say accidents change lives. Mine changed the moment I hit him. My name is Emily Parker, and this is the story of how a rainy night, a terrible mistake, and a powerful family's cruelty led me to discover what real love and real revenge truly means. The rain hammered against my windshield like bullets, drumming a chaotic rhythm that matched my exhausted heartbeat. I was driving home from a double shift at the hospital where I worked as a nurse, my body aching, my mind foggy, barely keeping my eyes open. The clock on my dashboard read 11:47 p.m. My scrubs were still damp from spilled coffee, my feet sore from endless hours on hospital floors, my hair plastered to my face. All I wanted was my bed. Then I saw him. A figure stepped into the road, sudden, unexpected, like a ghost materializing from the darkness. I slammed the brakes. The tires screamed. But physics is cruel, and wet asphalt is unforgiving. The impact was sickening. A dull thud that echoed through my chest. My car stopped. The world stopped. And lying on the rain-soaked pavement was a man in an expensive suit, blood pooling beneath his head like a dark halo. "No, no, no," I whispered, stumbling out of my car. My hands shook as I checked his pulse. Weak, but there. His breathing shallow. I didn't think. I didn't call an ambulance. I knew I could get him to the hospital faster myself. I dragged him into my back seat, his blood staining my upholstery, and drove like my life depended on it, because his did. The emergency room erupted into controlled chaos when I carried him through the doors. My colleagues recognized me immediately, Emily, the reliable nurse who never panicked. But tonight, I was covered in blood, shaking, barely coherent. "Car accident, head trauma, he needs imaging now," I shouted. They took him from my arms. Dr. Matthew Harris, the attending physician, grabbed my shoulder. "Emily, are you hurt?" "I hit him," I whispered. "I hit him with my car." The words hung in the air like a confession. "Doctor." Harris's expression shifted from concern to calculation. "Go clean up. We'll handle this. And Emily, you might want to call a lawyer." But I couldn't leave. I stood outside the trauma bay, watching through the window as they worked on him. His face, even bloodied and unconscious, was striking sharp jawline, dark hair matted with rain and blood, an air of refinement even in crisis. Every flicker of expression that crossed his face made my chest tighten. A nurse I didn't recognize approached me. "Do you know who he is?" I shook my head. "That's Alexander Alex Whitman. His family owns half the city real estate, hotels, tech companies. He's worth billions." My stomach dropped. Billions. I'd just hit a billionaire with my 10-year-old sedan. Hours passed. I sat in the waiting room, still in my bloody scrubs, ignoring the stares. I could hear muffled sobs from families in other rooms, the faint hum of monitors, the occasional distant laughter of night staff taking a brief moment to breathe. Around 3 a.m., a woman burst through the hospital doors like a storm given human form. She wore a cream-colored coat that probably cost more than my annual salary, diamonds glittering at her throat and wrists. Her face was a mask of fury and fear. "Where is my son?" she demanded. The receptionist pointed toward the trauma bay. The woman, Alex's mother, I realized swept past, followed by an entourage of equally well-dressed people. A younger woman, probably mid-20s, clung to her arm, sobbing dramatically. His sister? Girlfriend? I stood, intending to explain, to apologize. But before I could speak, his mother's eyes locked onto my blood-stained scrubs. "You," she hissed. "You're the one who did this." "I'm so sorry," I began. "Sorry?" Her voice could have cut glass. "You nearly killed my son and you think sorry is enough? What were you doing? Texting? Drunk? How much do you want?" Heat flooded my face. "I don't want your money. I want to know if your son is going to be okay." "Liar," the younger woman shrieked, her features twisted with spite. "Everyone knows what you are. A gold digger. A parasite. My brother almost died because of your carelessness." Security appeared. Victoria Whitman pointed at me. Remove her. If I see her near my son again, I'll have her arrested for harassment. I was escorted out, not roughly but firmly. At the doors, I turned back. Please, I said to the security guard. Just tell me if he's going to be okay. The guard's expression softened slightly. He's in ICU. Critical but stable. That's all I can say. I drove home in a daze. The rain had stopped, leaving the city washed clean under streetlights. But I felt filthy from the blood, from the accusations, from the helplessness. At home, I scrubbed my hands until they were raw, but I couldn't wash away the image of Alex lying broken on the pavement. I couldn't wash away the guilt. Every mundane detail, like the smell of wet asphalt or the sound of my dripping hair hitting the sink, seemed to echo the chaos of that night. The next day, I called the hospital. They wouldn't give me information, family only. I showed up anyway, still wearing my nurse's uniform from a day shift, hoping familiarity would grant me access. It didn't. Victoria Whitman was there, standing guard like a dragon protecting treasure. The moment she saw me, her face contorted with rage. "You," she said, her voice slicing the air like a knife. "I told you to stay away from my son. I just want to know if he's okay. He's in a coma because of you," she shouted. Elif Olivia Whitman appeared beside her mother, perfectly styled as always. She's probably already talked to a lawyer, planned her sob story for the media. Poor nurse accidentally hits billionaire, falls in love during his recovery. It's pathetic. I visited every day, sometimes silently sitting in the waiting room while they didn't notice me, sometimes sneaking in brief glimpses of Alex's improvement. I memorized the layout of the ICU, the rhythm of the machines, the soft hum of oxygen, the occasional cough of a patient in the distance. But the tension was unbearable. Then came the day that changed everything. Victoria's patience snapped, or maybe it was mine. I arrived late one evening, determined to stay until the night staff arrived, and Victoria was already there, waiting, fury etched into every line of her face. "Emily Parker," she spat. "You think you can sneak around and manipulate my son? You will regret this." My hands curled into fists. "I am not manipulating anyone. I have done nothing but care for him." Her lips twisted. "Care? You have ruined my family's life." She lunged at me, nails scraping across my cheek. I barely dodged, stumbling backward. Olivia jumped in too, pulling at my hair, screaming insults. I fought back instinctively, blocking punches, twisting out of holds, shoving them off. Chairs toppled, a vase shattered against the marble floor, water and glass spraying everywhere, the scent of flowers mingling with spilled coffee. Victoria grabbed a lamp and swung it like a weapon. I ducked just in time. I kicked over a chair to block Olivia, who was lunging again, nails digging into my arm. Every punch I blocked, every shove I landed, sent a jolt of fire through me, adrenaline, fear, rage, and survival mixing into something almost euphoric. Security surged forward, but we were locked in a frenzy. Victoria screaming, Olivia shrieking, me shouting back. All of us a storm of fury in a room that once smelled of calm and order. I twisted free from Olivia, landing a punch that made her stumble into a table, papers flying like wounded birds. Victoria lunged at me again, but my elbow caught her in the chest, sending her crashing into the wall, a picture frame smashing behind her. Time slowed. I felt every heartbeat, every breath, every burn of muscle and raw nerve. Finally, security pinned them down, Victoria and Olivia screaming, red-faced, eyes wild with disbelief, and I sank to the floor, chest heaving, soaked in sweat and blood from scratches and scrapes. My heart pounded, my mind buzzed, and a slow, triumphant laugh escaped me. I can't believe it," I whispered. "My insides, they're on fire. I feel alive." That fight had stripped away all fear, broken the last chains of intimidation. The Whitmans' control over Alex was weakening, and I had proven something vital. I wouldn't be silenced, erased, or scared. That night, Alex woke up, weak, groggy, but his eyes found mine. A faint smile flickered on his lips. "Emily," he whispered. "You stayed." I nodded. "I promised." From that moment, we formed an unshakable bond. I continued to gather evidence against Victoria and Olivia, exposing their manipulation and lies. Alex, now fully recovered, stood beside me as we confronted them in the Whitman mansion. Documents, recordings, and witnesses laid bare their deceit. Victoria and Olivia were humiliated, forced to retract accusations, drop lawsuits, and apologize publicly. We had won not just legally, but morally. Alex took my hand, pulling me close. "Emily, I fell in love with you in that hospital room. Through all the chaos, through all the lies and fights," he said, his voice steady. "I love you." Tears welled up. "I love you too." Our engagement followed soon after. The wedding was small, intimate, and real. Just Emily and Alex, their love forged in fire, tested in pain, and made unbreakable by struggle. Life didn't follow plans. Accidents happen. Families try to control us. Lies get told. Reputations get destroyed. But sometimes, just sometimes, the chaos leads you exactly where you were meant to be. I am Emily Parker. I hit a man with my car, fell in love while he was in a coma, survived a ferocious family battle that could have destroyed me, and found my happily ever after in the wreckage. I wouldn't change a single moment. Not even the fight that made my heart race and my soul burn. It was worth every second.